DiMaggio here, and today we're going to be going over the Vectra series of cases by TKL. Now the Vectra series is the top of line for TKL that sits right alongside the Concept series. Now you're going to go with a Concept series case if you have an acoustic guitar or a banjo, and the Vectra case is going to basically cover everything else. Now the first thing you might notice about these cases is they're shaped differently. When TKL set out to design the Vectra case, they wanted to create something that was a little bit sleeker, a little bit smaller, less cumbersome, that you could travel with, but also still protect your instrument. And that's where they came up with this violin-esque shaped case. The Vectra series of cases is available in most shapes, including Les Paul, SG, Strat, Tele, lefty and righty universal, and mandolin. And as far as colors are concerned, the Vectra case is available in black and gold, which is my favorite with this black interior, slate blue, glacier white, and Aluminex, and those all have blue interiors. So now let's get into this case and what it's made of. Now the exterior of this case is made of a proprietary resin named Ridgolite, and this is sourced domestically by TKL and it's specifically made for them. Now since TKL has basically a custom-made resin for themselves, they've been able to maximize the shock absorption and the thermal properties while keeping the weight down. Now attached to that Ridgolite shell is this aluminum valance that's custom made for TKL domestically, and we have our grip riveted to that along with all our latches. TKL specifically sources these Providence forged latches for their plating and their durability, and also as you can see here there is a lock on one of the latches there. Now let's get into the interior of this case. Now instead of using foam off the shelf and just slapping some glue and kind of shoving it into these cases, TKL uses a secure fit AIC interior. I'm going to explain real quick what an AIC interior is and how it's manufactured. So when TKL is making this case, there's two hoses basically that stick into the case and they mix two chemicals. And when those chemicals mix, the foam actually rises. And what that allows for is zero voids between the shell and the foam. Now there's also no kind of solvents or glue used. There's an actual chemical bond between the foam and the shell when this is cured. Now the things that TKL took into consideration when they were designing this AIC interior is the shock absorption, the weight, and the thermal properties. Now that leads us into the next feature of the interior, and that's a precision engineered neck support system. For each shape, TKL has a different neck support system inside their case. Basically what that means is your neck system is just as customized as the body system for the guitar. Also with the interior, what I want to point out is when you lay a guitar in a Vectra case, it sits a little bit higher than this ridge right here. And the reason for that is when you close this case, it cocoons the guitar. It kind of wraps around it, as you can see how deep this neck pocket is and around the body. And that really, really helps with shock absorption and just keeping things in place without squeezing the life out of your guitar. Now when you put all this together, TKL's goal is when you throw your instrument into this case, and you take it from LA to New York, or you might be hopping in a subway to do a session, Uber. You might be going from a really cold green room to a super hot set where you have to play your guitar and it has to be in tune. The thermal properties of that AIC interior is really going to make sure that when you pull your instrument out, it was the same as when you put it in. So who's this case really made for? First person that pops out of my mind for a Vectra case is someone who's making a living by playing their instrument. So that could be street musicians, hired guns, session players, clinicians, people like me who go back and forth to work with multiple guitars and need to play them on video and have them be in tune. Anyone who's making money and needs their instrument to show up the same way that they put it in their case, the Vectra is your best option. Now the Vectra case is also good for someone who's just purchased a guitar and wants to make sure that their original hardshell case stays original and doesn't get damaged. And lastly, this case could just be for someone who wants the best for their instrument. They want to take care of their instruments, they take pride in ownership. So if you're looking for a premium American-made case that maybe doesn't take quite as much space up in your trunk, kind of sticks out and you can get in some cooler colors, the Vectra is an awesome fit.